Hi, Year 7 Humanities students, and welcome to your final week of Humanities for Term 3. I hope you've enjoyed learning about ancient Egypt. I know that we've, as your teachers, certainly enjoyed teaching you remotely about ancient Egypt and the ancient world. And just to give you a brief overview of everything that we've looked at this term, we started off by looking at the historical skill of source analysis, so using historical sources as evidence. In week 3, we looked at the ancient world, giving an overview of all the different civilizations that existed thousands of years ago, before introducing you to the civilization that we've focused on, which is, of course, ancient Egypt. In week 4, we looked at the importance of the Nile River to ancient Egyptian society and civilization. In week 5, we looked at the social structure in ancient Egypt. So thinking about the different groups that existed in Egyptian civilization and what their role was in society. In week 6, we looked at the gods of ancient Egypt, thinking about the religion, the polytheistic religion in ancient Egypt and who the different gods were and what their role was. In week 7, we looked at death and funerary customs, so thinking about mummification, as well as the importance of the Book of the Dead. In week 8, last week, we looked at significant individuals, specifically important pharaohs of ancient Egypt. Now, through the second half of the term, we've also been focusing on essay writing skills, concentrating on the writing of introduction paragraphs and body paragraphs. Early next term, we're going to be assessing you on these skills. So you're going to be required to write one introduction paragraph and one body paragraph relating to a topic or prompt to do with ancient Egypt. And this final week is all about practicing that assessment. So this is your opportunity to practice the skills that we've learned the last few weeks. Relating to one of 3 different prompts. So let's have a look at the learning package for this week. Just different to the previous weeks, there aren't 2 parts to it. It's one learning package and you're expected to complete all of it. It shouldn't take you too long because it's skills that we have been practicing continually. So I imagine it would take you about 2 sessions maybe to complete, 2 or 3 sessions. So first, looking at the prompts to choose from, we've got the first one is, a pharaoh's crown was the most important symbol of his or her power. Now, to start off for that one, you will want to look back at the week in which we looked at the social structure in ancient Egypt, and particularly this part of part 2, where it was looking at the symbols of a pharaoh's power. The second prompt is, animals were crucial to the development of ancient Egyptian civilization. Now, there are many ways you could go about this. You could think about their importance for agriculture, in which you might want to revisit the importance of the Nile learning package, as well as do some extra research. You can also think about the importance of animals when it came to the gods and religion. So revisiting the gods of ancient Egypt, and particularly thinking about the animal-based gods. The third prompt, of all the pharaohs, Ramses II had the greatest impact on ancient Egypt to discuss. So for that one, you'll want to look at our work from last week, Significant Individuals of Ancient Egypt. That first video was all about Ramses II. Now, the rest of the learning package is essentially the same as what our parts 2 and parts 3 have been in the last few weeks, where we've learned, we've twice practiced introduction writing and twice practiced body paragraph writing using Teal. Now, usually when we've been practicing introductions, the first step has been to flip the prompt. Now, we haven't put a section for you to flip the prompt here. However, you should start off by thinking about what would the flipped prompt of my chosen prompt be. Whichever prompt you choose, make sure you highlight that one so that your teacher knows which prompt you've chosen. And then for figuring out all your arguments, listing as many arguments as you can, you'll use the prompt to figure out the 4 arguments. So reading out the prompt, then saying because and giving a reason, and that gives you your 4 arguments, and then use what you think the flipped prompt would be to figure out your against arguments. Highlight then your 4 best arguments that you've come up with, and they are the ones you're going to focus on for your introduction. And one of those you'll focus on for your body paragraph. So your contention, that's the next step. Considering your 4 chosen arguments, write a contention sentence. You might want to revisit the videos from previous weeks about introduction writing if you need a hand with that. The next step, you're going to explain the key terms. So depending on which prompt you choose, the key terms are different. So for prompt 1, the key terms are Pharaoh's crown. Prompt 2, the key term is animals in ancient Egypt. For prompt 3, the key term is Ramses II. Explain who he was. Next step is your argument sentences. So using the 4 arguments you highlighted earlier, write your 2 argument sentences. Again, you might want to revisit the videos from when we've practiced introduction writing in the past. And then finally, restate your contention using different words. Then you're onto your body paragraph. So using TEAL, topic, sentence, evidence, explanation, link. And for the TEAL sentence starters, see the last page. So you can scroll down to the last page and there are your TEAL sentence starters if you need to use them. So first of all, you're going to write your topic sentence. So choose your best argument from above and write a sentence that joins up your contention and this argument. Then you're going to use internet research or the information from the previous learning packages to find one piece of evidence that supports your argument and write it as a sentence. Then you're moving on to your explanation, remembering that there are 3 parts to explaining your evidence. First of all, what does the evidence prove? Secondly, why is the evidence important? And thirdly, what are the consequences of this evidence for your contention? So that's 3 sentences there. And then in 1 sentence, link back to your main point to remind the reader of your contention and your argument. The final part is to put all of your introduction sentences into 1 full paragraph, then all of your TEAL sentences into 1 body paragraph. So that means put your contention, your explanation, your argument sentences, and your restated contention into 1 paragraph, and then put your topic sentence, evidence, explanation, and link into a 2nd paragraph. And that brings you to the end of the learning package for this week. Thank you so much for all of your hard work this term. Early next term, we're going to revisit this work that you do in this week so that you can refine it and get feedback both by yourself and by your peers. And then in week 2, we're going to do the assessment, which is essentially the same as this, to write an introduction and a body paragraph. If you need a hand with any of this work, please contact your teacher. Have a great holiday, as good as it can be while you're at home, and rest up for term 4, in which we'll finish learning about ancient Egypt, and then we'll be starting our new topic. So thanks everyone, bye.